right, Oval fans. Yeah, I think a lot of the heavy hitting videos are pretty much already on the channel. I think I have about two or three more to do, and then at that point, just be a matter of doing like okay, what are my overall thoughts on the Oval season one, and what would I rank, Sister season one versus the Oval season one. I'll do that stuff soon enough, but for this particular video, we're going to be talking about Sharon in episode 24, I believe, telling Barry that she felt a bit weak. And the question that a lot of people are asking is whether or not Sharon is pregnant. And I mean, I don't feel like that's a throwaway line. I mean, it would have been different if, let's say, she said that the morning after her and Kareem had stayed together at the pharmacy, because they were on like a pallet. She made like a makeshift pallet and whatnot. And they stayed in there because I think this was after, this is when Kareem boarded up the entrance, and like you had a bunch of people just standing outside the pharmacy, and he knew if he went home and nobody was there at the pharmacy, people would have jacked the place. And it's like one of those situations where it's like, I know they don't live in like the best neighborhood, but you would think there would be some kind of like, I don't know, police or somebody in the area just to kind of watch the place until the morning when they come back and the people repair everything. So it's just kind of confusing how that worked out. But overall, it would have made more sense for her to say that then, because her and Kareem had a long stressful day. They spent most of the day cleaning up the entire pharmacy and getting everything all straight. But for her to just say I'm weak, after just staying with Barry, is kind of like, who's the daddy? I mean, in episode 1, you had Sharon and Barry going at it. And then Nancy called him down there for dinner. But then in recent episodes, it's like her and Kareem may have gotten it on maybe once or twice. So that begs the question of, who do you think is the father? Now, I would think personally it's probably Kareem, from a story perspective. I mean, if you want to look at it from a more lighthearted perspective, it's like, oh, wow, it's like, Barry lost Callie. I'm not saying Callie's going to die or anything, but I honestly don't know when or if we're going to see her again in the series, in the Oval, that is. And we know we'll see her in Ruthless. But do you think, like, if Sharon gets pregnant by Barry, this would be an interesting concept for him to not necessarily forget about Callie, but focus on another child he's bringing into a world? Or do you think Sharon will feel neglected because even though she's maybe obviously probably scared and maybe excited about being pregnant with Barry's child, she's going to feel overshadowed because of the fact that it doesn't matter that I'm having his child now, because he's still worried about the child he just lost due to Ruth. Now, if you look at it from a Kareem perspective, if Kareem knocked her up, then Barry is going to be pissed. So do you think Barry will resort to his old ways and just kick Sharon out of the house? I mean, if you look at the parallel, we know Nancy stepped out on Richard and then got pregnant with Picky. So do you think Sharon will go through a similar situation where stepping out on Barry means that she gets knocked up by another guy? Or do you think, if she's pregnant, will she say or reveal that, or will she just assume it's Barry's child, but then after it's born, remember because we don't know if it's a boy or girl, if she is pregnant, that is. Do you think it'll be like an If Loving You Is Wrong situation of who's the baby daddy? Like, let's say the baby is like too light to be Barry's, but a similar complexion of Kareem. That would be an interesting concept. And that Kareem and Sharon, have this little thing going on about money. So imagine if she tries to hit him up for child support. That would be an interesting dynamic there. But remember, she just said, I feel weak. And then, Barry's like, why don't you stay in bed? No, I got to go down to the pharmacy. So do you think that Sharon mentioning that she was weak was just a throwaway line? Or do you think that there's more to it than that? And with that being said, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss out when I post new content. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, feel free to hit me up on PayPal, Cash App, or you can hit the Patreon link in the description below and join in for as little as $1 a month.